Hello, everyone. Welcome to Simple Spoken English. Are you struggling with translating verbs in your head when speaking English? Do you find yourself constantly pausing, trying to convert action words from your native language? You're not alone. Many English learners face this frustrating challenge every day. When you try to speak English, does your mind get stuck searching for the right verb? Do you lose confidence because you can't express actions quickly and naturally? These are common problems that slow down your English speaking progress. But today, I have great news for you. I'm going to share a powerful 5-step system that will transform how you think and use English verbs. This isn't just another grammar lesson. This is a complete practice system that will help you think verbs naturally in English without translation. By following these 5 steps, you'll be able to express actions instantly in English, speak more fluently and confidently, stop the mental translation process, use verbs naturally like native speakers. Here are the 5 powerful steps we'll cover today. Step 1. Verb mindset. Reset. Step 2. Daily verb practice. Step 3. Verb pattern recognition. Step 4. Natural production. Step 5. Progress tracking. Each step is designed to build upon the previous one, creating a natural progression to master English verbs. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear practical system to practice and improve every day. Are you ready to transform how you think and speak English? Let's dive into Step 1. Step 1. Verb mindset reset. Understanding and changing your verb thinking. Let's start with Step 1, resetting your verb mindset. Why do we need to change how we think about verbs? The traditional way of learning English verbs, memorizing lists and translating, creates a major problem. When you try to speak, your brain needs to go through multiple steps, first thinking in your native language, then searching for the English translation, and finally, trying to use it correctly. This process is slow and exhausting. Think about it. When native English speakers use verbs, they don't translate or think about grammar rules. They simply see an action and express it naturally. This is the mindset we need to develop. Let's use a simple example. Running. When many English learners see someone running, their thought process goes like this. Oh, that person is doing that action. In my language, it's native word. In English, that should be running. By the time you finish this mental translation, the moment has passed. Now, let's look at how native speakers think. They simply see the action and instantly say, running. No translation, no processing, just direct connection between the action and the English word. Let's try another example. When you're walking to work, you might see people doing different actions. Someone is walking their dog. A child is riding a bike. A person is checking their phone. Native speakers instantly connect these actions to English verbs. Walk, ride, check. This is the natural thinking pattern we want to develop. So how do we develop this natural thinking pattern? Here are 3 key techniques. First, visualization. When you learn or use a verb, don't think about the word. Picture the action. See it happening in your mind. This creates a direct connection between the action and the English verb. Second, direct association. Practice connecting actions directly to English verbs without going through your native language. When you see someone drinking coffee, think, drink immediately, not the translation. Third, and most importantly, catch yourself when you're translating. Every time you notice yourself translating, stop and try to visualize the action instead. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's crucial for developing natural English thinking. Remember, this is Step 1 of our system, the foundation for everything else. Once you start thinking about verbs visually and directly, you'll be ready for Step 2. Daily practice. Step 2. Daily verb practice. Daily practice system and methods. Now that you understand how to think about verbs differently, let's move on to Step 2: daily verb practice. This step is crucial because it turns your new mindset into a natural habit through consistent, practical exercises. Let's start with your morning routine. From the moment you wake up, turn your daily actions into English practice. As you get ready for your day, focus on the actions. I wake up, stretch, walk to the bathroom, brush my teeth, make coffee. Don't translate. Just connect each action directly to the English verb as you do it. During your commute, use this time to observe others. On the bus or train, you'll see many actions happening around you. Someone is reading a book, another person is typing on their phone, a child is sleeping, people are talking. Practice naming these actions instantly in English without translation. At work or school, continue this practice. Notice the actions you and others perform. My colleague is writing an email. My manager is presenting a report. I'm typing on my keyboard. We're discussing a project. Make this observation a natural part of your day. Here's a powerful technique to enhance your practice: the 5-minute action focus. Choose any 5-minute period and focus intensely on naming every action you see in English. You can do this while having lunch in a cafe, sitting in a park, or even watching a video without sound. This concentrated practice builds your action-verb connection quickly. Another effective method is the action narration technique. As you perform any activity, like cooking dinner, narrate your actions in English. I'm chopping vegetables, heating the oil, adding spices, stirring the sauce. This combines physical actions with English verbs, creating strong mental connections. Remember to practice with both simple and continuous forms. When you see someone walk, practice thinking both walk and walking. When you drink water, think both drink and drinking. This flexibility will help you use verbs more naturally in conversations. The key to success with this step is consistency. You don't need to practice for hours. Short, frequent practice sessions throughout your day are more effective. Set reminders on your phone if needed, or link your practice to regular daily activities like mealtimes or coffee breaks. By the end of each day, try to recall the different actions you observed and practiced. This quick review strengthens your learning and prepares you for the next day's practice. Now that you have these practical methods for daily verb practice, you're ready to move on to step 3, verb pattern recognition. But first, start implementing these practice techniques today. The sooner you begin, the faster you'll progress. Step 3, verb pattern recognition. Recognizing and using verb patterns. Moving on to step 3, verb pattern recognition. This is where we start to understand how verbs naturally flow in English conversation. Just like native speakers, you'll learn to recognize and use common verb combinations that appear in everyday situations. Let's look at morning routine patterns. Native speakers naturally combine verbs like wake up and get dressed, brush teeth and wash face, grab coffee and head out. Notice how these verbs naturally pair together in daily life. Instead of thinking about each verb separately, start recognizing these natural combinations. Here's a practical example from office life. In meetings, you'll often hear patterns like discuss and decide, plan and prepare, review and update. These verb pairs come naturally to native speakers because they reflect common action sequences. Start listening for these patterns in your workplace or study environment. Another important pattern is action-result combinations. For instance, study and pass, practice and improve, work and succeed. Native speakers naturally connect these cause and effect verb patterns. When you recognize these connections, your English becomes more natural and fluid. Let's practice with social situations. When meeting friends, you might meet and chat, catch up and laugh, eat and drink. In shopping scenarios, you look and choose, try and buy, or browse and purchase. These patterns help you speak more smoothly in common situations. One effective way to master these patterns is through the action chain exercise. Start with one verb and connect it naturally to the next. For example, I wake up, freshen up, dress up, and show up at work. Or I log in, check emails, attend meetings, and wrap up work. Practice creating these chains in different situations. Pay special attention to time-related patterns. Morning verbs like wake up, get up, freshen up naturally flow together. Evening patterns might include wind down, relax, fall asleep. Understanding these time-based sequences helps you express daily routines more naturally. Here's a practical tip. Create your own verb pattern notebook. When you hear native speakers use verb combinations that sound natural, write them down. Group them by situation, morning routines, work activities, social events, and so on. This personal collection becomes a valuable resource for natural English speaking. Remember, the goal isn't to memorize these patterns, but to recognize and internalize them through regular exposure and practice. As you notice these patterns more, they'll naturally appear in your own English speaking. We're now ready to move to Step 4, Natural Production, where you'll learn how to use these patterns in real conversations. But first, start noticing verb patterns in your daily English exposure. They're everywhere once you know what to look for. Mutter. Step 4. Natural production, speaking verbs. Naturally. Now we've reached Step 4, Natural Production. This is where everything we've learned comes together, where you start speaking English verbs naturally, without hesitation or translation. Think of natural production like driving a car. When you first learned to drive, you had to think about every action, pressing the pedals, turning the wheel, checking mirrors. But now you do it automatically. That's our goal with English verbs, making them automatic and natural. Let's start with simple everyday conversations. Instead of planning what to say, focus on responding naturally. When someone asks, "What are you doing?" Don't translate. Just describe your action directly in English. "I'm working on a report," or "I'm having lunch." The key is immediate response without mental translation. Here's a practical technique we call speed response. Look around you right now. What are 3 people doing? Say it immediately in English. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Focus on quick, natural responses. She's typing. He's walking. They're talking. Practice this throughout your day to build quick response habits. Another effective method is the action commentary. As you watch movies or YouTube videos, describe the actions as they happen. He's opening the door. She's running to catch the bus. They're laughing at a joke. This trains your brain to produce English verbs instantly when seeing actions. Let's practice with common situations. Imagine you're in a cafe. Someone asks what you want. "I'll have a coffee." The barista asks how you like it. "I want it strong." You see your friend arrive. "I'm sitting here." Notice how these responses should come automatically, without thinking about grammar or translation. One common challenge at this stage is hesitation. You might know the verb, but still pause before speaking. Here's the solution. Start with short, simple responses. Don't worry about long sentences at first. If someone asks what you're doing this weekend, a simple, "I'm meeting friends" is perfect. You can add details later as you become more comfortable. Remember, natural production isn't about perfection. It's about fluency and confidence. Native speakers make grammar mistakes too, but they keep talking. That's what you should do. Keep speaking. Keep responding. Keep describing actions in English. A helpful tip for building confidence: record yourself describing daily activities in English. Listen to the recording. You'll notice your speech becoming more natural and fluid over time. This self-feedback is incredibly valuable for improvement. As you practice natural production, you'll find yourself thinking less about grammar rules and more about communication. That's exactly what we want. You're not just speaking English, you're thinking and responding in English naturally. Now, we're ready to move to our final step, progress tracking, where you'll learn how to measure and accelerate your improvement. But remember, natural production takes practice. Start using these techniques today, and you'll see improvement sooner than you think. Step 5. Progress tracking. Tracking your progress and results. We're now at our final step, progress tracking. This step is crucial because it helps you stay motivated and ensures you're moving in the right direction. Let's explore how to effectively track and measure your English verb mastery. First, let's talk about why tracking matters. Just like tracking your steps helps you stay committed to exercise, monitoring your English progress helps you stay consistent with your practice. It's not about perfection. It's about seeing your improvement over time. Here's a simple but effective tracking system you can start using today. Create a daily checklist with 3 main categories. Morning verb practice. Did you practice with your routine activities? Daily observation. Did you complete at least one 5-minute action observation? Natural response. How many times did you catch yourself responding without translation? Let's look at some clear signs of progress you should watch for. You start describing actions in English without thinking about your native language. You respond more quickly in conversations. You feel more confident using verbs in different situations. You catch yourself thinking in English during daily activities. One effective way to measure your progress is the quick response test. Time yourself describing 5 different actions you see around you. As you improve, you'll notice your response time getting shorter and your descriptions becoming more natural. Here's another practical tracking method, the week-to-week comparison. At the end of each week, spend 5 minutes recording yourself describing your day. Compare these recordings over time. You'll notice your speech becoming more fluid and natural, with fewer pauses and translations. Common challenges you might face during this stage include some days feeling less fluent than others, progress seeming slow at times, occasional returns to translation habits. Don't worry, these challenges are normal. Progress isn't always linear. The key is to keep practicing and tracking consistently. Even on difficult days, mark your efforts in your tracking system. To maintain motivation, celebrate small wins. Successfully describing a situation without translation. Thinking in English automatically. Receiving compliments on your improved fluency. Finding yourself using new verb patterns naturally. Remember to adjust your practice based on your tracking results. If you notice certain situations still cause hesitation, focus more practice time there. If morning practice works better for you, expand those sessions. As you continue with this system, you'll find yourself naturally thinking and speaking in English more often. Keep your progress notes simple but consistent, and you'll have a clear record of how far you've come. Now let's move to our final section, where we'll summarize everything we've learned and outline your next steps for continued improvement. Congratulations! You've now learned the complete 5-step system for mastering English verbs naturally. Let's quickly review what we've covered and outline your action steps for success. Let's recap our 5 powerful steps. Step 1. Verb Mindset Reset, where you learned to break free from translation habits and think directly in English. Step 2. Daily verb practice, establishing a consistent practice routine throughout your day. Step 3. Verb pattern recognition, understanding how verbs naturally connect in English. Step 4. Natural production, speaking fluently without hesitation or translation. Step 5. Progress tracking, monitoring and celebrating your improvement. Now, here's your action plan to start implementing this system today. First, begin with the mindset reset. Every time you catch yourself translating, pause and visualize the action instead. This simple change starts rewiring your brain for natural English thinking. Second, Choose 3 specific times during your day for verb practice. Your morning routine, commute time, and lunch break are perfect opportunities to start. Remember, consistent short practice sessions are more effective than long, irregular ones. Third, download our free practice worksheet from the link in the description. This worksheet will guide you through each step and help you track your progress effectively. I know this system works because I've seen it transform the English speaking abilities of thousands of students. But remember, knowledge without action won't lead to improvement. You need to start practicing today. In our next video, we'll dive deeper into the noun building system, a powerful approach to rapidly expanding your English vocabulary. You'll learn techniques for accumulating essential scene-specific nouns, effective classification and memorization methods, practical exercises to reinforce noun usage, memory enhancement tips and strategies. Make sure you're subscribed and have clicked the notification bell so you don't miss this upcoming video on mastering English nouns. It's the perfect complement to the verb skills you've just learned. If you found this video on the 5-step verb mastery system helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with friends who are learning English. Drop a comment below letting me know which part of the noun building process you're most interested in. I read and respond to all comments. Thank you for watching, and remember, consistent practice leads to natural English fluency. I'll see you in the next video on the noun building system.